Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Headbangers Closet. So for this video, I'm going to do a Metallica video, and reason being is because I leave 1 week from today to go see Metallica live in Foxborough at the house Tom Brady built, Foxborough Stadium. But really looking forward to that, and going to see two shows, the no repeat weekend, Friday and Saturday of next week. So looking forward to that. So I want to do a Metallica video, but kind of want to do something a little different. So I'm going to do my ranking. It's a Metallica album ranking, but it's post-Black Album ranking. Reason being is because I feel that the album after the Black Album, Load, was the album that most Metallica fans stopped being a Metallica fan. I'm sure we've all heard people that they got off the ride with the Black Album. I know a lot of those guys. I know some people that liked the Black Album, but it wasn't really what they wanted from Metallica. You know, it wasn't metal enough, wasn't thrash metal, and they kind of got off the ride, but still went to all the shows whenever Metallica came in their area. I know other guys that just completely forgot about Metallica when they heard the Black Album, didn't like it. And then as time went on, they learned to really like the Black Album and start liking some of the other albums they've put out since the Black Album. And then I know people that just kind of gave up on them altogether and quit being a fan. But I know way more people that did that when the Load album came out. So I would argue that the Load album was the main catalyst for people jumping off the Metallica ride. So Black Album's great. I think it's awesome. It's probably my last favorite of the five. Of the classic 80s and then that 1991 release. But, Black Album came out in 91, August of 91. They went on a huge tour. I saw them a bunch of times, but they waited, almost 5 full years to put out another album. It didn't come out until, I think, June of 96 is when the Load came out. So I'm going to do a ranking here, and let's get right to it. It's going to go my least favorite to favorite post-Black Album Metallica album releases. Last one, surprise, surprise, here is backwards, is Saint Anger. Dig the album cover. Love this artwork right here. Don't particularly dig the album. Individually, I like the songs. I love James's guitar riffs, the drums. Yes, that's bad. No Kirk solos. If you've ever seen the movie, the documentary, Some Kind of Monster, where he mentions, hey guys, if we don't do solos, this is going to mark this album like at this moment in time right now when solos aren't cool. I agreed with him then and I agree with him now. I love his guitar solos. First 6, 7 albums, I thought the solos are great. Wasn't until kind of recently. I wasn't a big fan of them, but there's no solos on this. I think it's lame. I think his solos at the time were good. They took a long time to make this record due to Jason leaving the band and James going to rehab. I feel Kirk probably had ample time to really nail down some solos to throw on this record, and there's really nothing there. Since then, when they play some of these songs live, there's a solo in it, which I think is cool. And I think most of them were kind of like ad-lib at the time. They might be some like, Dirty Window is a song they've been playing a lot. There might be like a, set solo for that now. But I think back then on this tour and on the subsequent, tour after this, which was the Death Magnetic tour, when they played songs off this record, there were solos on it. And got a few recordings. I have to go back and listen to it, but I think they were just like, he was just ad-libbing on stage, so I think it's cool. But like I said, individually the songs are good. There's some really great riffs on here. I really like Some Kind of Monster, Invisible Kid, My World, and Shoot Me Again are pretty cool. Sweet Amber is my favorite song on the album. It's got a really heavy riff. All Within My Hands is pretty cool. I like the subject matter of the songs. I really feel that Jason leaving the band and then James going to rehab kind of really opened him up to doing more personal kind of subject matter with the lyrics. But good album. But the main thing that makes it last is I really cannot listen to this thing with like 3 songs in a row. Just the way it sounds, I can't. I gotta skip it and put something else on. I can listen to maybe 2 songs in a row. I like the song when they come on individually on Spotify. I listen to them, I headbang and sing along, but I can't really listen to this thing front to back. So the next one on the list is 97's Reload. Again, not a big fan of this thing as an album. I think musically, it's one of the weaker things they've put out. I actually think, as a whole, Saint Anger is better. It just sounds like crap. But this one, I'm not a big fan. It's got my 2 least favorite Metallica songs on here, which is Fuel and The Memory Remains, which, I like the no repeat weekends because I know at least one of the shows I'm not going to have to hear them. But, not a great record. There's a reason why they want to do the Load and Reload double album. I feel if you take the best songs off of Reload, which in my opinion are Devil's Dance, Unforgiven 2, Probably Carpe Diem, Baby, Bad Seed, Where the Wild Things Are, Prince Charming, and Fixer. Only a couple of those would even make the cut on Load, in my opinion. Everybody loves Fixer. Great song. I'm not saying it's not. One of the better songs on the album. Prince Charming is my favorite song on the album. I just love that song. But overall, not the best album. And I kind of wish they just would have maybe done like the double album. And then the rest of the songs on this record, maybe kind of put out like an EP, like, Cutting Room Floor, new Metallica EP, check it out, kind of like the Beyond Magnetic, which I'm not going to include in this video, by the way, because it's just an EP. But, moving forward, the next few albums, they kind of went back and forth. I think the last time I thought about doing a ranking, or I did a full Metallica catalog ranking, these albums were in different positions. But for this video, I'm going to go with Death Magnetic. This thing came out in 2008, and I really love this album. James's riffs are great. Again, the lyrical subject matter, again, is personal to James. I like that. I think he sounds really good singing. The drums are not great, but good, better than Saint Anger, which was the one that came out before this. Saint Anger came out, I think, 2001. They waited till 2008 to put this thing out. Could be wrong on the date, but I think it's 2008. Anyway, I like it. Disappointed with Kirk's solos. I remember hearing the album and being bummed out because listening to what they were putting out, like the snippets of songs, the month or two leading up to the album's release, there was some really killer guitar solos from Kirk. And then lo and behold, I've listened to the album. They've taken him out and replaced him with a different solo, which I wasn't a fan of. But I think overall, the riffs are really killer. The songs are good. Subject matter for the lyrics is great. The song structure is great. Awesome riffs like Broken Beat, Scarred, All Nightmare Long, Cyanide, The Judas Kissed, Unforgiven 3 is really great. So really, really like this album. I think The Day That Never Comes is one of those, 4 songs on the albums, like Sanitarium and One, where it's like, kind of starts off slow and then it kind of gets fast and heavy with solos towards the end. Really like that song. It's a really good record, but kind of, to me, like Saint Anger, it's tough to listen to this thing all the way through. Now, I can do it, but sonically, there's something going on, the way Rick Rubin produced this, the way it was mixed or whatever. Something's going on in my ear where I just don't like the way. It's almost like a background noise. It's loud. That's what I can describe it as. It's a background noise, and it's loud. But I do love this record. Love it a lot, to be honest with you. I just have a hard time, listening to it a lot. So next one is Hardwired. And I think the last time I did this ranking, Death Magnetic was higher than Hardwired. But really, really like this album as well. Once again, James' personal lyrics, subject matter with the lyrics very personal to him. The riffs are great. I think Lars's drumming is pretty good. It sounds phenomenal, just the way it's produced and mixed. I really like it. Again, the downside is Kirk's solos. Some of the songs, they're really good. Some of them are kind of like, he's kind of doing the same thing like over and over again on multiple songs the way he does a solo. I know that the story goes on this album, he lost his phone. I'm not a musician, so I really don't know how that goes, but I know in past records, they spent a lot of time, years making the record. Kind of feel he could have come up with something a little better. But like I said, maybe he did lose his phone and he lost some of the best ideas, couldn't get him back. I don't know. But I do like the album. The title track, Hardwired's great. Atlas Rise, Moth in the Flame are phenomenal. Now That We're Dead's great. Halo on Fire is probably my favorite song on the album. Kind of goes back and forth between that and Confusion, which I really like. But Dream No More is cool. Here Come Revenge. Such a killer freaking riff on that. Spit Out the Bone. The whole album is really, really good. Front to back, it's great. I really like it. And next we have the latest release, which is 72 Seasons. I've mentioned it before when I kind of discussed my review of this album. I think the yellow's cool, really stands out in the record store, but they really just should have put Metallica right here. It just would have looked so much better. Just a huge empty space. Not a big fan of all of this. Would have looked cooler if they put Metallica up there. But overall, great record. Very similar to Hardwired. Sounds the same. Kind of close your eyes and put the 2 albums on shuffle. Each song I feel could kind of be on one of the other albums, but I think that's kind of cool. Love James's guitar riffs. Once again, common theme. The riffs and the lyrical subject matter, just personal stuff to James about his life and the things he's been through. Starting to get self-conscious of the chair squeaking again. Somebody commented, I have a new chair in my garage. I haven't put it together yet because this one, other than the squeaking, is in really good shape, and I kind of don't want to get rid of it just yet, but I think I'm going to have to because I'm hearing it squeak now. But anyway, great songs off this record. Well, like I said, common theme with the riffs and James' lyrics. Another common theme, though, a little disappointed in the guitar solos. Kirk's just doing the same type of thing over and over again, and I feel like, they had some time during COVID. They were doing this album during COVID. And I'm like, dude, you just couldn't maybe come up with something a little cooler. But again, still a great record. Absolutely love the thing. Looking forward to hearing the songs off this album. When they went to Europe, the first leg last spring, and then came back to North America last summer, they were introducing one new song that they hadn't played yet. Really hoping that they pull out my favorite song on the album, which is Room of Mirrors. Maybe Chasing Light. I don't know. But looking forward to hearing them play a song that we haven't heard from before off this record on this North American tour. So I love this album. It's number 2 on the rankings. Gonna kind of throw this in here now and give an honorable mention. Yeah, I know it's covers. It's not an official, new album of original material, but I wanted to include it because it did come out in '98 post-Black Album. They had a good string there of releasing 3 things in a row, 96, 97, 98. I really like this, the new material, the new covers on sides, well, basically discs 1 and 2 on this thing. The new covers with the Merciful Fate's awesome. I'm kind of tired of hearing Whiskey in the Jar, but, Sabracadabra is really cool. It's Electrics is cool. Die Die My Darling. I still like Turn the Page, this badass version of the Bob Seger tune. Like I said, getting sick of Whiskey in the Jar, but I love Astronomy. I wish they'd play that. But really cool songs. But what I really like and why I really include it in this video, and remember as a kid growing up, to hear the Garage Days re-revisited EP and then all of the single B-sides in one place, like the Am I Evil, the Blitzkrieg, the Stone Cold Crazy, the So What, Killing Time, Bread Fan, the Prince, and then you had the Motorhead Madness stuff, which is Overkill, Stone Dead Forever, Too Late, and Damage Case from Lemmy's 50th birthday, where they just did the whole set, like 6 or 7 songs, Motorhead tunes. To have that all in one place, which that was the side 2 of the Hero of the Day import single, which the Motorhead Madness stuff, which I just having all that stuff at one place was really, really cool. Having that on the CD, I remember putting that in the car and, just for every time I listen to the new covers, I listen to the old stuff like 6 times. So I want to include that. I dig this album. I think it's one of the Metallica does just such a great job of covers. So last but certainly not least is Load. This is my number 1 on Metallica's post-Black Album rankings, and this is the album that came right after the Black Album. The album that I said at the beginning of the video, most people jumped off the damn ride when they heard this. I get it. Look at the guys in the photo. That's not your Metallica. That wasn't my Metallica. The pics, the photo shoots. Now James looks pretty cool with the the Hugh Jackman hair in the leather jacket. Right, looks like a biker. The rest of the guys, yeah, even Jason, not so much. Jason looks like he's like a mob guy. The other guys just look like they're selling cocaine down in Miami with the Cubans, Lars and Kirk. But so I get it, the photo shoots, the whole Kirk and Lars kissing. I'm a huge Metallica fan. I was a huge Metallica fan. I never got off the ride, and even I didn't like that shit. But the songs are great, right? Yeah, it's not thrash album, but to me it's still metal. I've said it for years that if Alice in Chains put out this record, everyone would be loving the freaking thing, right? But it's Metallica, so everyone's going to shit on it. But I think it's great. I love the songs off this album. Kind of disappointed. I've only heard just a few songs. Going to so many shows on this Load tour. And then the summer hits, Summer Shit 98 tour with Reload. Everything after that, the 40th anniversaries, the 30th anniversaries, they still only played a handful of songs off this record. There's so many songs I'd love to hear on this album that they haven't played before, like 2x4, House at Jack Bill. I know they played 2x4 in London when this album was coming out, but I haven't heard it, live. 2x4, House at Jack Built. I want to hear Hero of the Day again. They didn't play that since this album. I want to hear Bleeding Me again. I want to hear, The Cure. Poor Twisted Me. They played Wasting My Hate, but I want to hear Thorn Within. I want to hear Ronnie. Outlaw Torn is a song they played. I'd love to hear that again. But there's a lot of songs off this album I love. I'd love to hear them play live, for the first time. But I really, really like this record. And it came out in June, like I said. I did a video back in June. If you want to check it out, go ahead. But it's basically, you know, just me telling the story of, you know, when this thing came out and picking up the local record store. It's just a great time in my life. So that might be one of the reasons why I still love this thing so much to this day. It's my favorite post-Black Album release. So kind of like sentimental reasons. But I just think this is a great record. And even though this is the album that most people said, screw Metallica, I'm done, it's the one I really, really like. So anyway, appreciate everybody checking out the video and checking out the channel. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on my rankings. What are your rankings of Metallica's post-Black Album records? So leave them in the comments. I appreciate everybody checking out the channel, like I said. And, you know, hope everyone's doing well. And I'll have another video for you guys very soon. Cheers, everybody.